Hey guys, so I wanted to do this particular series on telling you what should you not do as a programmer, and these are common fallacies of every beginner, and I've faced them myself. And I thought it would be a good thing to share that with you all so that you don't make those mistakes while you're starting to program. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. So, first thing first, don't ever buy a book on Kindle. I've seen that when you buy books, I'm happy for you to go and buy books. Go and buy books and hard copies of that. And in fact, I wouldn't say have too many books on programming because these days there are so many tutorials you can watch and learn. But don't go and buy books on Kindle. The reason being that if you have a book on Kindle, unlike a regular book where you would perhaps browse through pages and reference back, Kindle has a very linear mode of reading. So you read one page, you move to the next page, you move to the next page, and yes, you can bookmark a page, but it's still not easy for you to go back into one particular page and read the concept. The feel is not great, and there is a limited scope in terms of looking at the size of the book, so you would not have all the concepts in one particular page. So I haven't found that experience going through the books and reading it in Kindle good. So I would say that you shouldn't do that again. And I think it's a waste of time to buy a book on programming in Kindle. Just go and buy physical copies of book, or read it through tutorials. Second, don't browse the net too much. I think this is one of the fallacies of every individual who learns programming. Today there's so much opinions running around in the net, and I kid you not that you take any topic, there'll be a million people supporting it and a million people say it's shit. You take any technology, it will be good, bad, or ugly. So I wouldn't say don't read about the technology at all, but keep a time limit and say that this is what I want to do, because there is no technology or language which is the best language out there, and you have to any which ways learn multiple language if you are choosing a career of programming. So don't be too bothered about it. Get into delivering in whatever area you go into. Third thing, don't ignore the community and maturity of the language. There are several new frameworks which are coming in. So if I look at JavaScript, for example, and I can give you an example. So JavaScript has like 5, 6, I don't know how many frameworks they have, and every framework in JavaScript, so let's just go through the framework. I'll give you an example. So if I go and type JavaScript frameworks, you will get a million frameworks. So there are not just one. See, there are 23 frameworks which are available. So there are so many of them. You have all these are frameworks of JavaScript, and some of them are good. For example, Vue.js is good, React.js is good, and you should know that the top 3 frameworks which are good. So I would typically say that go and say which are the top 3 JavaScript frameworks, and my guess is you should get React and Angular and Vue.js. So just look for the top 3. And here they are, right? So you got AngularJS, you got React, you have Backbone, Ember, jQuery, and right now there's Vue.js as well. So, and I've done another series on the top frameworks, you can watch that. But the point I'm trying to make is that don't go by the number of frameworks which are around. Just pick one framework. I would say if you are getting into JavaScript right now and front-end programming, go with React. It's one of the best frameworks around right now. Just go with it. So don't get too bogged down by the frameworks and stuff. And remember that you always have to go by the maturity of the community. So if you go by the newest language, there will not be as much support as you would want in the other languages. So let's say, for example, if you're going with JavaScript, always go with one version lower of JavaScript than you currently have, because as a beginner you would need to know some of the support which is required. You will come from the community that's there. So never ignore the the community. Even if you want, go do some research on the community. And this is another one. Don't pick up multiple languages. You would hear this all over the internet that, oh, I want to learn JS, JavaScript, Python, HTML, CSS. Oh, learn Lua. Oh, learn this. There are so many languages. Somebody would say, no, learn Go. Do not pick up multiple languages. There may be languages which are good. There may be languages which are not that good. But I would say just go and pick one language. JavaScript is a good bet. Python is a good bet. Pick one of them. Go ahead and focus. Don't try to be a master. This is another fallacy that we have, is that we want to go in depth into a programming language and say, I want to be a master of this language. I want to learn everything about it. In the programming world, there is nobody who knows everything about every language, or who knows everything about the same language. And remember that people who started off, like Mark Zuckerberg, started off when they were 6 years old. So they had a lot of lead time as compared to you when you start off programming today. So don't try to be a master. Just ensure that you know what the programming does, and then you can hustle. So this brings me to the next point, which is don't wait until you learn it all. Learn a bit of programming, maybe spend about a month or so in programming, then jump into creating something. When you try to create something is when you really face problems. There is nobody out there who knows everything. You got to learn to hustle. You got to learn to ask questions. You need to figure out where the community is. So programming is all about collaboration, and there are a lot of online communities where you should go collaborate, ask questions about a particular problem, rather than getting stuck in learning everything about it, because there's nothing called as learning everything about programming. Looking for the perfect problem. Now, I was talking about becoming a master. Here I'm talking about looking for the perfect problem. Now, you might go in and try to create a to-do app, and a lot of you would say, oh, why should I create a to-do app? Oh, it's such an easy thing to do. Let me create something else. And you would look at that something else, and then you would try to solve it. Let me tell you, just take the problem which is there in your hand and resolve that. The problem which is there right now with you, resolve that. It could be a to-do problem. Just sit down and create an issue and resolve that one by one. So that's really what you need to do, instead of going and looking for the perfect problem. So I think that's pretty much all I wanted to talk to you about. I hope you liked this session, and if you have any questions around it, you may tell me. And thanks very much. I hope you sort of learned something from my experience. And finally, I just want to leave you with this thought, which everybody knows, but I still want to say it. So if you want to be perfect, just practice, 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 and practice. So that's the only way you can learn and become a great programmer. So thank you very much, and have a great day. Bye.